The link command invokes a program at one level below. If you include COM area, a pointer to data area is passed to invoke program. Pointer means address. Okay, address is passed to invoke program. When address is passed, what happens? It's used by content or by reference.
By reference.
By reference. Okay, when data is changed in main subprogram, the linked program, it is going to be automatically changed in main program. That's all. The data is then available through the program's DFH COM area field. The invoking program remains in storage so that control can be passed back to it when the program ends. The invoke program can use a return command without a trans ID to return control to invoking program. So just give return command. The program that's invoked by link command can reside on local system or remote system. That's what is important. It can be a local system or remote system. A system can be in any data center, can any region. Unlike a call statement, a call, dynamic call, the subprogram should be in the same system, local system. Each time a link command is issued, a fresh copy of invoked program is loaded into memory and its working storage is initialized. What does this mean? It's not like a static call. Okay, programs are independent of each other. So each time a link command is issued, a fresh copy of invoked program is brought. It's like a dynamic call where a fresh copy is brought every time and programs are not dependent on each other. In static call, programs are linked in compilation itself. So this is the syntax, very easy. Link, program name, COM area, some COM area. What happens when you link it, the control comes to program B. Program B is executed, and once you write a return command, which is the last command in the subprogram, the control comes back automatically to the main program, and whatever data, whatever you have done changes here to this COM area will be reflected back in this program B data automatically. So here it's working storage, here it's a linkage. If you change something here, it will be changing something here also, because both are going to use same storage. Are you getting? In main program, we are sending working storage data in COM area. In subprogram, we are receiving in DFH COM area feed in linkage section. Since a pointer is passed, since you are passing by reference, any changes to this DFH COM area will be reflected back automatically in this program B data. Automatically. Because the COM area option passes a pointer to data area, it names changes made to the data by invoked program or reflected in invoking program. That's all. So link and XCTL return command you should understand much better. So return can be written without a trans ID or with trans ID. We write with trans ID provided we want to kickstart the transaction after a attention identifier key is pressed. Okay, usually done only in pseudo conversational programming. And link and XCTL will be to transfer control to subprogram. Do you decide whether to come back to the main program or you need not come back to main program? That based on business functionality. But these are the available options. So these are some static calls and dynamic calls, and we never use static calls. So this is static call program name. Here this is dynamic call because we are moving program name to a working storage variable. Okay, you can append any program. Okay, like how we have ILBOA BN0 to append the program in batch, we can append the program in online also. Okay, just write append, that's all. Just write append, it is going to append the program. But if you want to give an append code, like yesterday you have seen ABM0, ASRA, ASRA, all these are append code. If you want to have an append code, you can write AB code, any four letter word, this will be the append code. So usually in projects what will happen, if you have any file open error, file operations error, some operations error, we'll be giving some code 0030, 1000, 2000, 3000. So we give this code since we design like this in such a way, when you see that number, you will know, okay, this is what happened. Okay. So in projects, when we append, we give a code. Even we gave 0030, right? 0030 when you append the code. Okay, 0030 means we are enforcing an append. Probably you can have different numbers also. From the numbers, we'll find, okay, this is what happened. So just write XCTL append. It is going to append the program. If you want to have an append code optionally, you can use AB code. So here, this bracket is called optional. Okay, this type of bracket is optional. So this is optional. Very simple command. See, append. That's all. If you want an append code, you can write like this. Whatever, any 4-letter word. The append command causes a program to terminate abnormally and optionally produce a dump. Is typically used to terminate a program with a serious error occurs that program can't handle. Append code must not start with letter A because A is used for system appends like ABM0, ASRA, etc. Okay, send map you already seen. Send map name, map set name from output structure, and we can do write arrays, alarm, etc. Suppose if you want to send only the map, empty map, you can use map only. Okay, if you want to use only the data, you can use data only. See, when you write a complex program, when you write a real main big program in projects, but you will not be writing in here in mainframe. Probably in future, if you are working in different technology where they have screens, in mainframe probably you'll be changing a screen or you may not be changing a screen, but you have to know how to use a screen. But there will be CACS changes provided you go to onsite. So when we are going to work on very complex programming, we can sometimes you send only map. Map only means data will be empty. So if you want to refresh the screen, reset all the fields, you would have seen that's something called reset, right? In many screens you would have seen reset button. Have you seen or not? In modern technology, reset means what? It is going to wipe off all the data, right? Wipe off all the unprotected fields. So if you send only the map, it means what? You are going to send map only, no data, no symbolic parameters. So what happens? It's similar to reset. All the fields will be having no data. It's like a fresh screen. It's like an empty screen. It's an empty screen, in fact. So if you use map only, it's going to send only the screen, empty screen to the user. And if you want to place the cursor, in specific field, do you know how to place? Do you remember? I told you. Say we have yesterday CTC,
initial cursor,
on hand, and we have another what is the another one? Some tags. Suppose you want to place the cursor in on hand, you have to move -1 to on hand length field. So we have in symbolic structure, we have input structure, we have output structure. In output structure, we have on hand O. In input structure, we have on hand I. Apart from on hand I, we have on hand L. Okay, in symbolic map. Since on hand L is a length, so if you want to place the cursor in any field, you have to move -1 to the length field, and then send map with cursor, just cursor. So what it is going to do, it is going to place the cursor in this field. Okay, so if you want to place the cursor in initial cursor in one field, we give IC in BMS in attribute. In attribute, we give IC. IC stands for initial cursor. This you have used yesterday. So IC stands for initial cursor. It is going to place the cursor in that position. Okay, initial cursor. And if you give IC in multiple variables, what it does, it is going to place the cursor in the last variable. IC typically is given only for one variable, which is the first unprotected field. But if you happen to give IC in all the unprotected fields, the cursor will be in the last unprotected field. You should never give IC in all the fields. This is initial cursor position, but this cursor position can be changed dynamically through when they write the program. How to change dynamically? By moving -1 to the length field. So if you want to change the cursor position dynamically, move -1 to the length field and send a map with cursor as a parameter. It is going to place the cursor in this field. Okay, so this is also a very important interview question. How do you change the cursor position dynamically? Move -1 to the length field and send the map with cursor as a parameter. Okay, this is how we are going to place the cursor dynamically. So move -1 to length field and send the map with cursor as the parameter. It's a very important interview question. Receive map, map set, map name, map set into. Receive map, map name. Here into specifies name of data area where the map data should be placed. If omitted, map name with an I suffix is used. Anyway, you already aware. Receive map, map name, map set name into input structure. Send map, map name, map set name from output structure. If you write cursor before the send map, before this you have to move a -1 to any field. It is going to place the cursor. Today you may be writing a ad screen. Okay, today you may be writing an ad screen like employee ID, employee add to an employee table. The other time is the user presses some invalid data. Say in gender, if they presses spaces, if they don't write any data or write something, some other data like A is invalid. So what you have to do, you have to just make sure you check the field. If it is not equal to M or F, what do you do? Send a message invalid gender, and you place the cursor in which field? You place the cursor in gender field. How to place the cursor in gender field? Very simple. Move -1 to the field name L. Send map with cursor option. That's all. So this is how we placed cursor dynamically. So initially we give IC in the map set to place the initial cursor. During the execution of program, we do a validation, and during validation we can place a cursor in any one field, only one field only. Okay, that's only one cursor. Can place the cursor only in one field. Even though if there are plenty of errors, we can place the cursor only in one field. Place the cursor in one field, and then by moving -1 to the length field and send the map. And as far as DB2 is concerned, you can use the same queries you have written there. Okay, whatever queries you have written in batch, you can use the same queries. What are the queries you have written? Select,
insert,
update, delete.
Sir, how to download a file from mainframe or upload?
Yeah, you have to. I'll tell you. But Mocha will not support, I think. You have to use some other software like IBM PCOM or even Vista. There's something called Vista. Using the Vista as an option. So you can use singleton select. Okay, we can use singleton select. We can use cursors also in online. If you want to see the list of data like scrolling logic. Okay, like seeing the bank statement, we have to use cursor. But these are advanced programming. Okay, these are advanced programming. We can use singleton select, again singleton insert. Whatever you did in a batch can be used here, like singleton select or multiple select using cursor. But cursor programming is very tough. I mean the paging logic. So it's out of scope and we are not going to see that. My idea is to make you understand some basic fundamental concepts and write few programs so they are having some confidence, because they are not going to use CICS shortly, probably after 5 years. But real-time programming is going to be there in aggressively after 5 years, because once you start acquiring more experience, you'll be moving on from batch to online also. So initially everyone will be in batch since we are in offshore. Once you are working in on-site or working in multiple applications and interacting with clients very aggressively after 4 years or 5 years, then slowly you will be working on a real-time application, and then you'll be working on architecture. Okay, after many years, at that time, all these knowledge will be helpful. So whatever you have done in, batch holds good for online also. So I will select and insert. Okay, you can just select and insert. You can write a program. If you select, say, based on employee number, you are going to display other fields: employee name, gender, etc. till salary. If it's insert, what's the difference between this and this program as far as BMS is concerned? So here this is unprotected field. Remaining are protected field, like name, gender. So this is enquiry map. In enquiry map, we are giving employee number, which is unprotected field, and we are going to display name, gender till salary. In insert map, add map. In add map, can tell me which will be unprotected fields? Everything are going to be unprotected fields. That's all. Everything are going to be unprotected. We are going to input data. Okay, all are going to be input data, and once you input data, you insert into the program table. Insert table values, column names, host variables. So very simple. So here, if you want to use DB2 in online, you are supposed to copy the DCL gen. Once you compile for DB2 compilation, you cannot use this kick-C. So that's a different compilation where they have pre-compiler, translator, compiler, and link edit, and finally bind. There are 5 steps involved in compilation if you are going to use DB2 program. Okay, there are 5 steps involved. We'll look into that in detail. I'll introduce one command: CEMT, enquire, program, or map set or transaction. You can give G01, PGM, whatever, and start. So CEMT stands for Command Execution Master Terminal. I for enquiry, program. This is going to tell you what are the programs present here for G01. It shows MPS1 also. Here map set also is treated as program. If you want to see and it should be enabled. If only if it is enabled, you can use. Okay, if it disabled, you cannot use. So program, then transaction. These are transactions, G011, 12, 13, and these transactions are mapped to these 3 programs: 11 to PGM1, 12 to PGM2, 13 to PGM3. And what are the other components we have? We have files. You can see the file. G01 file 1, G01 file 2 are the available files, but I will tell you about files tomorrow. Today we'll just see, you just saw enquiry program, list of programs and map sets, and list of transactions. So this is how we do enquiry. Okay, this command users should know: CEMT, enquiry, program or transactions. Give your any field name with wildcard character. If you don't give anything with wildcard character, it is going to show everything in the mainframe. Got stuck. It is going to show all the transaction in the mainframe. You can scroll down and see. See, now this is in level 1. Here, if you in level 1, if you write some other command, it is not going to work. It is going to get stuck. So you should make sure you come to level 0 to enter into another transaction. Okay, now it's session ended. Similarly, if you are entering a program, say G02, 4 is there or 3, 1 is there. It's in here. If you clear the screen, you are in level 1. If you clear the screen, it's not clearing first of all. Sometimes it clears. If you should you should make sure you come to the level 0 in like this. Then you can write any transaction. It is going to work. We saw about what is return command, return with trans ID with com area, just simple return. Then two important commands, link and XCTL. Link transfers control back to main program, while XCTL doesn't transfer control to main program. Instead, the return command written in XCTL will transfer one control above.
Fix region.
Okay, and we saw a couple of commands. We will see how there's an important command called CEDF. It's for diagnostic facility. It's going to be very helpful for you to understand how program works. I'll just explain that.